Hello, everybody. Ray Garner with Garner's Games, here to do the weekly comic review. And this time, we're going to keep it a little fantasy and a little bit kind of anime. It's going to be Kendra from Antartic Press. This book is written by Dunn and artist by Wolfe. And what we're doing, we're following the adventures of the blue-haired sellsword. Now, we start off, she's having a dream. I guess we'd call it a nightmare because things don't go well. She gets surrounded by undead and then falls down basically a cliff into a hole. And is attacked by more monsters, kind of an ogre-looking guy. And then she wakes up and she's in bed with basically the same guy. Of course, then she's acting like, hey, did we do it? And he's like, you didn't with me. And then this kind of haggard witch shows up and starts attacking her. And apparently she's able to drain some of her youthful energy to make herself back young again. And literally as she's getting ready to attack Kendra's like, hold on just a second. And stops and gets dressed. And then once she's ready, she's like, now then, Hexa. And Hexa is gone. Got what she wanted and took off. We do have some pseudo cameos by, not Conan, not Service at the bottom. And this is the first of 3 issue story. And she goes out trying to gamble, doesn't do very well. And at this point, I start figuring out that her armor talks to her because it's enchanted and intelligent, and so does her sword. So she goes around trying to find a sellsword job. She literally gets told that she's too short, she's too tall, she's too fat. And then basically a guy wants to give her a whole bunch of example of her knowledge of ship sailing, which she apparently didn't have any. But eventually on one of the trees the outside of town, she finds the perfect job. Wanted for hire, sellsword, high pay, meet at the Happy Harpy at dusk. Ask for Avon. And of course she's like, that's perfect. We get a little bit of a cutaway with the main bad guys who have destroyed a town apparently, and they're trying to accomplish something. And they're mainly looking for a key, we find out later, but they don't have it yet. So she goes into the tavern, assumes that this dwarf guy, or dwarf-looking guy, must be the guy hiring. Obviously not, and then big fight breaks out. Yeah, really good animation. A really good drawing on the anime style for the fight scenes. I really like it. And after she's beat everybody, she finds out they're not the ones looking for a sellsword. This kid is. She basically starts blowing him off until he shows her a really shiny, it looks like it's a gem actually, I'm sorry. It's an elven gem. So she's like, okay, I'm here to kid out. He tells a story about the village that's been massacred. It's the town Vespa. And he escaped, without getting killed. And they're looking for something called a key. She decides that the pay is right, so she'll take the job. Then we cut away to a hobbit guy trying to get into a place that I'm going to assume is what they need a key for. And he's hired by some of the main bad guys. It doesn't go well for him. So then, at the edge of town, Kendra is sleeping in, waiting for her employer to show up, when a mage instead shows up and pokes her with a stick. Her sword's telling her, don't trust anybody with a staff. We find out that the wizard's also been hired by her employer to go on this merry little journey. She's not really happy about it, and she basically says she's not splitting any of her reward. He says he's not splitting any of his. So they both agree, and they take off. A little ways into it, they're met by these road bandits who are demanding a toll to get by, and they're more than happy to get into a fight with her. So she starts fighting everybody. The wizard stops the archer. The female swordswoman is about to kill the magic user when Yavin jumps in, gets whacked around. And then, of course, our two female characters get into a big sword fight. Main bad guys are watching. And they seem fairly evenly matched until the new girl uses a gas deal that's set apparently in her dagger or her knife's hilt. And we end with her about to plunge her steel into Kendra's heart. Then we got a couple of pages of, really nice art for the character. This book is pretty cool. It's very fast-paced. It does not take itself super serious. But the story comes across, like a really cool, fun D&D style adventure. Lots of little cute cameos, little tidbits for people who are fans of D&D, fans of fantasy stories, games, and that. So if you like any of that type of stuff, I'd highly recommend it. And this is a book I think that'll be really good, really enjoyable. It's only got 3 issues, so not going to break the bank. And it's good independent book. So check it out. Thank y'all. Be careful out there.